What's up, though, Cale? How you doing? Big day
Good, bro.
for Notre Dame football.
Big day, buddy.
Yeah.
Starting off the
So
college
what do you do? You're
season.
watching the game alone, or?
No, we're me and Alexa's family. Alexa's stepdad went to Notre Dame.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
By the way,
big.
congratulations. This guy's newly just got a fiance, just got
Just
engaged.
got engaged. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
pretty
So
exhilarating. It's good to get your heart rate up like that when you're out of the season.
exactly. I considered it training. I was more nervous that day than any game I've been in a long time. So it was,
Dude, right before you're about to drop to a knee, like right before, like like
yeah.
you're nervous, but then when it's like, all right, like this is a spot where you're gonna drop to a knee.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, my hands were leaking, blacked out after I was like, we're good, right? Like you said, yeah. She's like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
oh my
That's
God.
perfect. I hear your fiance is a lawyer, so you lose
Yeah.
every argument.
Oh, it's not even fair. Like as soon as it starts, it's over. It's just yeah, whatever you say, it goes. It's not even worth it. I have to pick my battles real tight.
Yeah. And last thing on Notre Dame, Nico just showed me the movie Rudy. We watched it like 3 days ago, and that's my new favorite movie. Fucking love
Yeah,
that guy.
it's a good one. We actually had the chance as a team to go to the movie with the guy who played Rudy in the movie at Notre Dame and watched Rudy with one of our kind of like little brothers on the team. So it was a fun time. So it was cool.
That is
Dude,
cool.
that's actually unreal.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
so you were kind of like the Rudy, I feel like, after your first year. Fuck, no one probably expected you to take off like that. But I'm gonna rip this intro real quick. All right. Joining us today is my all-time favorite roommate. He's a 2017-2018 Best Goaltender and Mike Richter Award recipient, along with 100 more awards that he received. He is an elite goaltender and an amazing dude. Entering his fourth pro season, it is my pleasure to welcome Cale Morris to the Buzz Pod.
Wow. So thanks for having me, boys. I'm pumped. I've been looking forward to this ever since we were roomies back in Norfolk. So
I
it's
mean, Cale actually made our website because he studied that at Notre Dame. And I was like trying to find someone to make my website. And I'm in the kitchen, like making calls. Kale's like, "What are you trying to make?" I'm like, "A website." He's like, "Oh, dude, I can make you a website in 5 minutes." I studied at Notre Dame. I'm like, "Oh my God."
You're like, my guy.
yeah. So still waiting to collect some royalties from the merch you guys are getting done, but we can handle that. We can handle that off screen here.
Checks
Yeah.
in the mail.
No, I actually have 0.5% of everything. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
about $30. I
Yeah.
got
I'll be collecting soon. So
No, but seriously, I mean, let's get it started from the beginning before we get into me and you living together and the whole dog bite shout
oh,
out situation and living
seen it
in
all.
Virginia Beach. But anyway, um, Larkspur, Colorado, that's where you grew up. And your first season with the T-Birds is 2010-11 on EP, but it's only one game, a one gamer. And then 11-12, you had like 20 something games, U16 AAA. But can you talk about just getting into hockey? Why the fuck would you want to be a goalie in the first place, and just all that stuff?
Yeah, so growing up, I actually didn't get into hockey until I was about 10. So played football, baseball, soccer before that. And then one of my close buddies that lived down the street from me, him and my sister were the same age. He played hockey. He was a goalie, and I was always over at his house. So it just kind of fell into place there. And first season made Squirt C. So it was off to a hot start. First time I ever
You got the
First time
start
I
of
ever
the game,
skated was
maybe, or
at the
no?
tryout.
Were you the goalie? Were you the
Yeah,
only goalie on the team?
yeah, I was the last one, so they had to give it to me.
Good.
So
Well, that you took over the team. You were the
yeah,
guy. The net was yours.
exactly. Step in the guy right away.
Yeah.
Um,
Great situation, it sounds like.
so then a couple years later, ended up making the T-Birds AAA. And then we had a good team. The 96 birth year in Colorado was pretty strong. So had a fun U12, 14, and 16 year. And then did the whole junior out onto college.
But
Couple years.
dude, Chicago Steel. I was actually looking at your were we there like the same year, different times?
I
My name's not on the EP, but your team is legit the same team that I played with, like Marcel Godbout, Tanner Lazinski, all those guys. Like it's the same exact squad.
Yeah, I think I got traded. So I played for the Steel for a year and a half. And then after Christmas, like January, I think it was maybe a week or two after the World Junior A Challenge,
No,
I
it
got
was a year.
traded
Yeah.
to Waterloo and then played a year and a half there and then went to college after.
Yeah, and Waterloo, I mean, you tore it up in Waterloo, so much so that they gave you the A. And
Yeah.
that's like unheard of. I mean, you also got it later on, but that's like unheard of, the goalie to be an assistant captain. Did you have an A on your jersey, or was it just like he's
No, it was more just like a locker room thing. So yeah, that first year that I got there, the second half of the season, we had a really good run going in and just barely missed playoffs, but the team was loaded. I mean, we had Tommy Novak, Brock Besser, Hayden Shaw, a bunch of just awesome guys and awesome players. And that year coming back, it was kind of a younger team, so kind of took on a little bit of a leadership role, which I enjoyed. And then kind of like you mentioned, I had another experience like that at school, so it was fun to kind of have that responsibility and kind of pressure and kind of direction to lead the team, however kind of the leadership group sees fit for each season, so it's been fun.
The head coach in Waterloo, PK O'Hanley, he's a legend in junior hockey. What was it like playing for PK?
I loved it. I mean, I had a great time and great first impression when I first met him. We went on an absolute tear. I think we went maybe like 25 or 28, 5-2 in the last like 30 some games. So we were just untouchable to finish that first year. So after that, he's just like, hey, I'm not going to touch you. Like whatever you're doing is good with me. So you kind of have full reign there to kind of do your own thing. I'll stay out of your way as long as everything keeps working. So he was awesome. I mean, he was always someone I could talk to in the coach's room. I felt real comfortable having talked with him after practice, before, after games and stuff like that. So it was cool to kind of start building a relationship like that with the coach.
That's really cool. I've heard stories the other way on him. I heard one guy walked into the office and PK was sitting in his chair with his feet on the table, didn't say a word for 2 minutes, just stared at him.
Yeah. No, there was definitely if you're on his good side, it was smooth sailing. And then if he didn't like you, he wasn't afraid to share that. So there's definitely some stories I've heard over the time of him just doing the stares, the one-on-one with the guys, being pretty ruthless. But I never fortunately had any encounters like that with him with my time. So I was lucky on that side.
Yeah, that's good.
That's unreal. When did you commit to Notre Dame?
It was at the end of that so my second year of junior. So I was a year out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was towards the end of that season after I got to Waterloo and we kind of went on that run for the playoff push. I started getting pursued from colleges and stuff right around that time because I hadn't really had anything before when I was in Chicago, and then took a couple visits to I think 4 or 5 different colleges, and then just landed on Notre Dame and kind of fell in love with it. So
Notre Dame is a sick school. I mean, how was your first impression to Notre Dame? The campus is elite. I mean, I played a tournament there back in the day when I was young, but that's all I got for college hockey, really. But can you talk about your experience just coming into campus, being a freshman, welcome week, all that stuff?
yeah, I mean, it was actually the first visit I took before I committed anywhere. So I didn't really know what the college atmosphere was like at all. I hadn't really been around it in any aspect at all. So I got on campus, I was like, oh, like this place is pretty next level. They put you up in the nice hotel, 5-star basically on campus, getting wined and dine, showing the locker room, incredible facilities, incredible staff and everything. And after that first visit, I was already like, yeah, it's a lock. Like, I'm going to take my next 3 visits because the season's long and I want some free trips and stuff to check out. I ended up going to like Penn State, UNO, CC. So, I mean, I still was looking, but once I saw Notre Dame, it was like, this is going to be almost impossible to beat.
Yeah.
And then obviously getting on campus and stuff my freshman year, like I was so lucky with my classmates. We had 8 in our class, and I mean, we still talk every day. We're going to pro camp on Sunday, and there'll be 6 of us there from my class, so we're excited to all see each other again. We stay really close, but yeah, I was super lucky with the people I was around.
Dude, that's unreal. And that year was probably Was it a tough year for you? I know in college hockey, like freshmen don't usually play a ton. If you're a player, you're in and out of the lineup. I don't really know how it works for goalies. You only played one game that year, your freshman year, and it was a tough game for you.
Yeah.
You're backing up Cal Peterson, who's an
Yeah.
NHL everyday NHL goaltender. What was it like learning from Cal Peterson and watching him?
Yeah. No, it was fun. So kind of like Nico was saying, obviously you go in freshman, player, goalie, regardless, you gotta earn your spot. And there's, upperclassmen who've been putting the work in for the last 3-4 years who have paid their dues. And it's a man's game. I definitely think going into college, you're playing against 23, 24-year-olds. You could be 18, 19. So I think I was lucky to have the classmates, because going to the rink and my teammates that year, we were such a close group that going to the rink, it wasn't terrible. Being the second, third string guy, it was like, all right, like I'm around my best friends. Like I get to mess around, like shoot the shit with them, go in the hot tub every day, like dick around after practice, play pool, ping pong, whatever it was that day, every single day, which really helped because obviously I went in the third period of the first game against ASU. I think we were up maybe 8-1 or something at this point. So coach was like, yeah, Cale, like going for the third. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And it was my second shot, goes in like a screen from the point, and I'm like, oh shit, like here we go. And that was the only game time I had all season, because like you said, Cal Peterson was the captain that year of the team. So he had the C on the jersey.
Wow.
And like you said, he's like an everyday NHLer. So it was awesome though to kind of have him as my first like higher end goalie partner.
Yeah.
Just to learn from him, be a sponge around him. I mean, we worked out together every day. We sat next to each other in the locker room. We were really, really close friends, and it was awesome to kind of see all the work that he did, and obviously the success it led to him too. So it was a fun year, and really made the best of it with not even really playing more than 19 minutes of hockey. So
Well,
Yeah.
being a sponge you were, because the next season it seemed like you learned everything that you needed to and put it all together.
Well, first, actually, what was that conversation like at the end of the year? Like, what was your exit meeting like, and what was said to you in terms
yeah,
of
so if I remember correctly, I think they were pretty positive. Yeah, Cal probably signed right after the year or something, so he was gone. But they brought in Dylan St. Cyr from NTDP, and they're like, yeah, like obviously you didn't play much last year, but you were around, you're the guy going into camp, but at the same time, like this guy's going to push you, and it's like it's an open spot, so going into that summer I was like, all right, like it's going to be a battle, it's going to be a dogfight, but I wanted that because I knew kind of the best would come from both of us and we'd push each other. And then going into that year, me and Dylan St. Cyr, we did that. I mean, our coach at the start of the year was like, yeah, you guys are both just going to go back and forth, because the first, I think 5 or 6 games of Notre Dame schedules, mostly non-conference. So we just went back and forth each weekend with just split weekends for non-conference, and we both played great. We were super close friends off the ice, which helped a bunch. We were truly great friends, and that was just a healthy competition. And then once Big Ten play started, our coach was like, all right, Cale, you're going to play the first game, and if you win, you stay, and if you lose, we're going to change up. I want a healthy competition. And I remember we went to Ohio State, we won that first game, and after that we rattled off 16 straight.
My fucking net. My net.
Yeah, so we it was our first stint in the Big Ten, so it was kind of like we swept everyone the first series, just a clean sweep. Like we were just flying. I mean, we were having so much fun. It was going like 2 weeks without losing, 3 weeks. Now we're at a month and a half, 2 months. The boys are losing it. Like we're playing sick hockey. We are just finding ways to win every single weekend, and we're partying harder than ever. And our group was getting closer and closer. So it was just an absolute blur of great times. But yeah, after rattling off 16 in a row, it was kind of my net from there on out. But that never changed the attitude between me and Dylan. We still stayed healthy, competition, battle, had great time together on and off the ice. So I think I got to give a big kudos to him and helping me with my career and being such a great partner. And I think we can both say we learned a lot from each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I just want to read these off. This is hilarious to me that you have this many awards. I only have one on my EP. You know what that is? Got it this year,
What's
but
that? Most PIMs in a league?
most penalized player in the ECHL. But this is what you won that year. This is what you won that year. NCAA Big All Tournament Team, NCAA Big Ten Best Goaltender, NCAA Big Ten Champion, NCAA Big Ten First All-Star Team, NCAA Big Ten Player of the Year, NCAA Big Ten Regular Season Champion, NCAA Big Ten Tournament MVP, NCAA West First All-American Team, NCAA Top Collegiate Goalie, Mike Richter Award, NCAA Top Collegiate Player, Hobie Baker Award finalist.
Yeah, that's a year, and it's a heartbreaker because at the end of the year, we lost the Natty Ship final. And I would have changed all those awards in for that because I know that celebration with that group of guys would have been memory of a lifetime, But it was a great year and a great team year overall. I mean, we were number one, I think, 90% of the year, and then made it all the way to the final and kind of gave it our all. So it was a blast.
If I remember correctly, during that run in the tournament, you guys went to overtime like a couple times, or like every time?
It
No?
was literally a Cinderella story. So don't want
Yeah.
to take up too much time.
Remind
I'll run
me.
it back.
Yeah, run it
We
back.
got so I think it started our Big Ten championship playoff. We were already the number one seed, so we already knew we were in the tourney, but we were playing Penn State, and we were in an absolute battle with them. I think it was maybe 2-2 with a minute left. We had a shot on goal, like went wide, going up the half wall. Our guy just turned, spun, threw it on net, scored with like 20 seconds left. That was to win the Big Ten championship. Semifinal. That was to win the Big Ten championship semifinal. Then Big Ten championship regular. One of my roommates, Cale Morris, scores an overtime goal to win that. Then first game of regionals.
Michigan Tech?
Yeah, we're playing Michigan Tech. We score with, I think we score in overtime. Jordan Gross has a point shot, seeing I win it. Who do we play in the regional final here?
BU?
No, I don't think it was BU. No, I actually think we played Providence in the regional semis, and then we played
Michigan Tech in the second game.
Yeah, because I think we played Providence and we scored with like 12 seconds left. Dylan Malmquist scored, and then then it was Michigan Tech scored overtime, and then at the Frozen Four, that was when we played Michigan. We scored with like 30 seconds left. Maybe in the last minute or something, it was Cam Morrison passed it to Jake Evans, and Jake Evans slid it 5-hole and skated to our bench and sellied like crazy. And then it was in the championship game, we were down by 1 against Duluth in Minnesota. And when I got pulled, everyone on the bench was like, "We're good, boys. Like, we've done it the last 7 games in a row. Like, we're not losing." And then I remember the final horn went, and we were like, "Damn, like we actually lost." It was crazy because that whole run, it was like a Cinderella story, and we were just like, "There's no way we're losing. There's no way we're going out like this. Like, we've been through too much." And it just ran out of time, and we didn't get it done, but it was still one of the best experiences, best seasons, best group of guys I've ever played with. So it was awesome.
Wow, that's very cool, man. I had goosebumps the whole time.
Yeah, seriously, me too. Especially because it's like Notre Dame. Like, that must be one of the craziest streaks ever. I mean, campus must have been buzzing for you guys.
Yeah, it was funny. Going to Big Ten, it was every single home game, sold out barn. The band's buzzing. The buzz around the rink was just absolutely electric. Like, we were just, you'd always look up on the board and it'd just be number 1 ranked Notre Dame, and it was awesome. We were playing obviously the big name schools every weekend, so the student body was really easy to get around. Notre Dame versus Michigan games and stuff like that. So it was awesome, and it was just great to kind of experience that with my best friends at school.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. But after a season like that, I mean, if you were a player, right? Like, if you were a player, I'd know, but I'd be assuming you'd have a ton of NHL deals. I don't know how it works with goalies, but after that sophomore year, like, tearing it up, Did you have NHL deals on the table and you were just like, dude, this is the best place, best group of guys? Like,
Yeah, a little bit. So
like,
I ended up, it was kind of a weird situation. The Panthers ended up wanting me to go out for development camp, and I was like, no, like I'm going back to Notre Dame regardless. Like even though I knew I was good at the college level, like I had just played 30, 35 games, like I wanted to show again and again I was dominating at that level. And I knew another year with my best friends and closest group of buddies was worth that. And I knew kind of we had unfinished business. And even though we lost a couple big players, I still thought we were going to have another really competitive team. And our whole class was like, we have this group, like we saw how fun it was when we were winning, like let's run it back. Like we know we can win a natty. And Florida actually flew me out for the last day of development camp. I sat with their GM up when like the rest of the guys were doing the 3v3 scrimmage and everything. And I was shaking hands with all their developmental guys, front office. They're like, yeah, like we're going to make him a Florida Panther. Like whenever he's ready, he's going to be ours and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, this is kind of crazy. And just kind of put it on the back burner because all I was really focused on was going back to school and kind of winning a national championship, to be honest. And ended up going back, and we had another great year, but came up short. And then just came back for my senior year, and by that point I had a leadership role, which was awesome. And we're not in a rebuild phase, but we definitely had a younger team. And then that whole COVID year kind of ended the college reign there. But it was a blast overall. I wouldn't change it, and I would do it 100 times over and go to Notre Dame every time.
Super cool.
And that year, so I mean, the following 2 years, I mean, you guys had success.
They went back to back.
It was definitely your net.
Back to back.
Back to back?
Yeah, back to back. Big Ten champs.
Yeah, first year we went back to back. So that was fun. It was those Big Ten championships are something that will always stay with me too. I mean, those both of them were at home. They're both electric. I mean, even just the parties afterwards, celebrating with the Big Ten. It's a perfect trophy. You can definitely have some fun with it. So it was a good time.
That's awesome. And like once your NCAA career ends, I mean, your senior year, you were the assistant captain. It was your net basically. After your freshman year, it was your net till you left. But when your season was over, the Florida Panthers didn't call because they had a new GM. As Z just showed me that GM that you had met wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't even realize that. But yeah, after I was done, it was just tough timing too with COVID happening. It kind of stopped all the like the AHL on the East Coast. There wasn't that opportunity to play after the senior year and kind of get your feet wet. And then the long pause until I think it was either January or February start after that was just a weird experience for everyone. It was definitely interesting. So it's just kind of how it all unfolded. But I mean, once again, I'm happy I didn't leave early from school. I wouldn't have done it. Those 4 years were awesome.
And what was that deal like? Because I saw, so your first year you played 7 games with Rockford in the American League, and I'd love to dive into that year. But the next year you were in all 3 leagues. But let's just talk about like your first full year pro, 7 games, and what deal did you sign? Was that an NHL deal?
That was the COVID.
No. Yeah. So that was the COVID year. So I ended up signing just a 1-year A deal. Had the whole year in Rockford. It was a fun time. I actually got to go to Blackhawks NHL camp. So that was my first like NHL development camp, skating with the big dogs. So that was definitely a cool experience. And then that COVID year, it was weird. We were only playing in conference games. There was no real playoff format. So it was just, I think, 20-game season. Just 20 games. That's it. Nothing's really on the line except you're showing the league and other teams what you're made of. There's no championship. So it was definitely a weird season, but the Blackhawks organization was great because they had a bunch of resources and developmental guys out there. It was kind of a bagger. We were doing 2 days, we were doing plenty of skates, 2 sessions back to back and all that stuff. But it was a great first taste of pro, and I really enjoyed my time there. And yeah, it was a fun year overall, and met some great guys.
And then the next year, let's talk about this one because this is sick. Like, I mean, obviously 0 GPs in the national. That's unfortunate, but I mean, you were there, and then you were in all 3 leagues, same organization.
Yeah. So yeah, going into that second season with Rockford, I think the goalie depth chart was you had Flower, obviously a starter, then you had Lankinen, then Colin Delia was signed, Subban was signed, Arvid Soderblom was signed, and then I was signed. And a lot of people thought, obviously, that Delia and Subban would both get claimed on waivers just because they're younger guys with lower cap hits, and they'd have to clear waivers to get sent down. And so actually neither of them got claimed to start. So that kind of pushed me down into start the season in the coast with Indy, which I love my time there. It's a great city, awesome fan base. There's some awesome group of guys down there too. They take care of their guys well. And then made my way back up to Rockford, had some time there, just kind of going back and forth, doing that whole pro goalie lifestyle,
Dang,
it
yeah.
can change back and forth, just like anyone getting sent up, sent down. So, and then after Christmas, came back, was practicing, flew into Indy, got called up to Rockford. On my second skate in Rockford, I was in the drill and the GM just banging on the glass. I'm like, what is going on? Like, we're in the middle of practice. He's waving like, come here, come here. So I skate over. He's like, hey, someone got COVID or someone went down or something happened. But he's like, you gotta get undressed. You're headed to the airport to fly with the Hawks to, I think it was Nashville or something. They're flipping you to an NHL deal. Like, you're on the taxi squad or something. So I'm like, don't even have time to think. I'm in my gear. I signed the iPad. Get off.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I was like, what just happened? Get undressed, call my agent. He's like, yeah, you're good to go. Like, head to the airport. We can chat about later. So then meet the guys at the airport, fly in Nashville, and then fly back. It was just like a day game or something.
Flying with the boys.
Yeah, on the team plane, everything was fun, and then ended up being on the taxi squad for probably a month and a half. So skating with the guys, being around the group, just seeing that NHL lifestyle is awesome. It was a fun experience for sure. And then I might have been sent down and then called back up the last time, and something happened where either someone was sick, questionable COVID test or something, but I ended up backing up a game in Nashville. And I remember, I think Nashville scored twice in the first like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm sitting in the tunnel. I'm like, oh boy, I feel my heart just banging through my throat. I'm like, oh man. And then the boys rattled back, and I think they competed, maybe even pushed it to overtime or something. But yeah, it was a fun experience. I got a little cup of coffee in all 3 leagues in the span of 6 or 7 months. And it was a crazy experience for sure.
That's awesome. And then so then the next season you signed with the Chicago Wolves, and that's when me and you got to play a little bit together in Norfolk down there, which you shouldn't have been there. And I know like a lot of people look at stats and stuff, and that's why Z, before the pod started, he asked me like, how is he? Like, is he a good goalie? I said, dude, this guy is fucking elite. Like, people don't even know. I don't know. I guess people don't like watch the games or something. If they just look at the stats, they'd be like, oh yeah, like he's having a tough start to his pro career. But like, man, like you are dialed. Like, I don't think I've played with a better goalie. Like, as of
Off my tires. I'll slip you the 20 off screen.
No, but seriously, to be honest with you, like it was unbelievable to me how you were in the ECHL, and there's a lot of stuff going down in the coast with like contracts and whatnot, and that kind of decides who plays and all that. But I just remember like you would get a game, you would get a shutout, and then you wouldn't play the next 3, and then you'd get a game, you'd win, and you wouldn't play the next 5. And I was just like, this makes no sense, like, do we want to win games? So I know like there's a lot of politics in this game and hockey and stuff, but I just really wanted to get that in there because you're fucking elite, bro. And I want to talk a little bit about just us being able to live together. I mean, you're my favorite roommate, my wife's favorite roommate, especially after that day that you organized the fridge that like won it over with my wife. But let's talk about the dog bite. I mean, this guy got attacked by a dog and then went on to play that night and got a shutout. What?
Yeah, it was
Where did you
wild.
get attacked? How the fuck did you get attacked by a dog?
So me and Blash, we lived in Virginia Beach, probably like half a mile from what's the store down there?
Half
The
a mile
grocery
from the grocery store. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called, but just the grocery store. So I normally walk whenever we have like Saturday home games. I normally walk to the grocery store just to get my meat and then come back and cook my pregame meal.
Motion is lotion.
I'm just exactly, get the body going. If I don't skate, like I don't need a pregame skate anymore. We've done that plenty of times. So got my walk in and was walking back, just literally carrying a bag of I think maybe pesto sauce and some just chicken breast. And I'm walking back and there's this big, like, I don't even know, like German Shepherd on this porch. And I'm walking and like, I'm friendly with dogs. I love animals. Like, didn't even look at him. Next thing you know, he busts through the gate and starts barking at me and like up me. So I'm like, just keep walking. Don't even interact with him. And he jumps up and like bites my hand. And I like kind of like turn away, like kind of body him, but just like turn my back and keep walking. And I look down at my hands, like bleeding. Obviously, it's not like a huge dog bite, but like blood's pumping. I'm like, holy shit, like it's a German Shepherd. Like that's a big dog. If he wanted to, like he could have took me a couple rounds.
Oh man.
But I get back, like Blash is in the kitchen. I think Sarah probably made him pregame like she always does because this guy's useless in the kitchen. But
That's true too.
yeah, I get back and I'm like, dude, like I just got bit by a dog. Like I'm like rinsing my hand off. I'm like bleeding. I'm like texting my sister who's a vet tech and texting my other sister who's an ER doctor. I'm like, am I gonna die? Like, do I need to get like rabies shots or something? And they're like, no, you'll be fine. My heart's pumping. I don't even know if I can pregame nap that game because I'm just like, holy shit. Like obviously I never get attacked by dogs. So this is kind of treading uncharted territories here for me. End up going to the game, still just heart rate's buzzing. You can't calm down after something like that. And I think we were playing Newfie, who's pretty good in the coast. They're pretty deep there up in Canada. And I think we won like 2 or 3-0. And Blash is like, you're a dog. Like nothing can keep you down. Like, fuck that dog. Like,
Dude, I got him
a
pizza after the game. I wrote shut up, Mojo. Like,
yeah, he left me pizza. That's his trad post game meal there in the coast. Just a couple slices.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Not even the full box. I ate like most of the pizza and I left like 3 slices.
Yeah, it's my dog.
That was my team. I was called up that weekend, or else I would have been there. But
yeah, exactly. Thanks for playing a part in that whole story. Then you made it work.
Dude, no, but that was actually such a crazy story. Like when we were there, just you walk into it's game day. The starting goalie walks into your house and he's just like, dude, I just got attacked by a dog. He's bleeding.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like what do I do? Like I just got attacked.
He's like, I've been scratched last 5 games. I'm finally playing.
Yeah.
Oh
crazy.
Man.
But so you got to play with Helly a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Helly the GOAT. I love Matt Hellickson. That guy, he is an awesome individual.
So me and him had this thing. So I think he was only a year below me. So my sophomore year, because obviously he's a defenseman, shut down. Like he was my dog. He was one of my ride or dies. He would write in my stall like the castle and then sign it. And he's like, I am defending the castle tonight. And he would go to battle every single night. And like that guy's just my dog. Helly is one of the best dudes I know. So
dude, the Marlies re-signed both of us, and I'm so pumped.
Well, it's like the Marlies are freaking Notre Dame freaking pipeline for a little bit.
It is, man. Notre Dame, Northeastern, and Boston University.
Yeah.
Harvard.
Yeah, that's it. Just feed them. They're feeding them.
That's it. They have at least like 3 of each.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, but Helly's a great dude. He's a man.
Yeah,
but we obviously had some great times down in Norfolk. But could you talk about like just being up and down again this season? I mean, obviously it's a battle. A lot of guys do it, but it's definitely a battle, and you lived it. And a funny story that Sarah reminded me of, I don't know if you remember this, you probably do, but when you got called up one time and you thought it was like for good. I don't know. I think everyone thought it was for good, like the coaches and everything. So they moved someone into your room, like maybe 2 days after you got called up. They moved Fedulov into your room, and you get sent back down like the next day. And then, so you're coming down. Fedulov's got to move out the day after he came in, and they sent him an address to go to, and I guess it was the wrong address. So the kid like parked his car at this house, and he's like, "Oh, this is like the new house I'm living in." So he goes in like to see if any of the boys are home, like to see what room he's gonna take, you know. So he goes in and he walks around this house, like nobody's there. He's like walking around the whole house. He checked every room, like to see like which room's open. He's like, none of the rooms are open. He gets out, like he calls the guy, like, hey, like none of the rooms are open. Like, you know, the guy like checks the address. Oh shit, that's the wrong address. The kid walked around a random person's house, like could have got shot.
Yeah, walked
around a random person's house, checked every single room.
Yeah, that was one of, I mean, this last year in Norfolk, I mean, we could do a whole Netflix documentary on some of the stuff that went down that season. It was a hilarious year on and off the ice. Like, it was some of the funniest memories I have in hockey with that group of guys. They were just absolute clowns, and it was almost at some points you'd look over and like try and find the camera and be like, I've got to be getting punked right now. Like, this can't be serious. So
were you?
It was a blast. But yeah, actually my first experience with Norfolk, we were getting ready for, I think, a 21-day road trip. So it was an absolute battle. And this was the start of the year. I think we were like 0-7, 0-8. Like, we were in the dog days already 2 weeks into the season. And I get called up, and all I have is a suitcase that I packed for 3 weeks. So it wasn't a lot. And like, I get called up to Chicago, and within, I think, 2 days, they had moved someone into my room in Norfolk, even though all my stuff was there, my car, everything. Like, I was like, okay, like, all right, I guess we're just sharing rooms now. And so I ended up having Denny, one of the guys down there, pack up my stuff, and I shipped my car to my girls' place in Pittsburgh. But yeah, going up and down was interesting experience, because I had a lot of great teammates on both teams, but it was definitely a toll. You know, they weren't easy travel days, getting sent back up and forth, and I mean, Blash, and so I'm sure you guys know the wear and tear of travel in the coast and in the A. You know, it's a long season, so when you add on a couple extra trips, getting sent up and down, moving in and out of houses, living out of a suitcase for months at an end, it was a drag. But you know, that's pro hockey. It's part of the grind. I love it, and you know, it's all worth it because of the guys that you get to spend it with. You know, Blash, it was an absolute time. I would play with on any team that you were on, just if we could live together. Even though, you know, you got a full pack now with the dog, the baby, and Sarah, obviously. So I'd still try and move in and be a part-time nanny or something. Just
dude,
do again,
I mean,
bro. So,
you know, once your head hits the pillow, you're the safest guy in the neighborhood.
exactly, that's the thing too. Like, it was like whenever we'd ride together, it's like, oh, like, okay, like, we're kind of invincible here, because Black is a psycho, and if anyone even looks at me, like, he's got my back. So
damn right, dude. Damn right. If there's, you know what, if we ever play together again, which I hope we do, I'll put that in my contract. Like, I want my own apartment unless Cale Morris on the team, then get me a 3-bedroom and he's living in there.
Dude, that's all we need. A nice little 3-bedroom, you know, like, I can keep the fridge running tight for Sarah, you know, it's a game.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But dude, well, you'll be in the American League, so I'll work my way up there.
I'm gonna go organize the fridge.
There you go, brownie points.
I also talked to a Peaker a little bit, and we covered a lot about what he mentioned. Like, he mentioned the goalie battle you had your sophomore year and the 16-game winning streak. He said you're awful at golf, but you think you're really good. Which is a good chirp for right now. Hopefully you guys play golf together tomorrow.
Yeah, we will. We already have that in the schedule there. So
awesome. So there's a little, but he's been golfing a ton too. So be ready.
Yeah, he's a sandbag. He's a piece of shit.
But you also said that you I don't think this is true, because I think you're an actual genius, but he says you thought you were a genius, but you really just mooched off Cale Burke.
Oh, Cal, no, me and Berkey were the 1-2 punch. He was definitely 1A, but I was a smooth 1B. And then, I mean, Peaker's a DC DM analyst kind of guy. So he's
he's trying to bring you down with him.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it was I actually should be getting royalties from him too for helping him pass college. So
you should, dude. You should. And what was it like having like Peaker as a captain? Because I grew up with Peaker, and growing up on the same team, he's a quiet dude. I find obviously as he's gotten older, he's come out of his shell more. Obviously, especially now he's in the national. But he's just a hell of a guy. Hey, just an awesome dude.
He's an awesome dude. He was definitely a guy's guy, you know, but he had this quiet confidence about him at school. And, you know, he didn't have to speak up too much, but when he did, you know, it was time to listen up. But he was a great captain. It was obviously fun to have him as a captain in our class just because we could, you know, he was like nothing was off limits in our class. You know, we were so ruthless and gutty with each other. So we would let him know, like, if he fucked up anything, any part of a speech, like he knew he was going to get it. Like every opportunity where he was being a leader in a role, like he knew he had the eyes on him from my class because we were going to roast him no matter what he did. So it was fun. I mean, I love Feker and he was a great captain. I'm pumped to see him next week.
Dude, that's unbelievable. You guys better be sending me some snaps. But what have you been up to this summer other than getting engaged, tying the knot, marrying a lawyer? How you doing? What else have you been up to?
Just enjoying summer. You know, I had a couple weddings. Been in Pittsburgh for the most of it. I'm headed back to Colorado here in 2 weeks. To kind of ramp up things with my group there. So no, it's been a good summer. Everyone's been healthy, so that's nice. You know, training's been going well. Had a good skate. Actually, skated with Cooley last week.
Oh, sick, dude. That's my guy too.
He's still an idiot. He's looking like a middle linebacker. Guy's looking thick. I love it.
Dude, it's that corner weight. He's a dog.
Oh, it's that low center of gravity. He's going to use it to his advantage this year. So everyone watch out for him.
Yeah, he's a gamer. But watch out for you. Seriously, like if there's any AHL GMs listening to this, like you need a starting goalie or any NHL GMs that are looking for a guy to have in the pipeline, this is your guy. You got anything else?
No, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
This is great, dude. Your perspective is awesome, and I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy it.
Just so everyone knows, this guy's a goalie. This is the most normal goalie I've ever met. Like he's unbelievable. Yeah.
Thanks for I appreciate
anyway, speaking of dogs, Lenny fucking misses you, man. He's always like, "Where's Cale?"
Lenny,
hey, my guy.
where is he?
I don't know. But anyway, brother, thanks again. I know you got to watch that Notre Dame game. The boys are buzzing right now. Let's go, Rudy.
There it is, fellas. I appreciate it.